Number two, we are saying that for new hires, that is for anybody who is hired at TRIMET, we have a hiring freeze in place, and we're not doing any such hiring, but anybody who is hired after May 1st of 2009, if they stay and are able to earn retirement here, and again, there are certain qualifying periods for that, the post-employment benefits will be that they will be eligible to have health care benefits, but that they will have to pay 100% of those costs. Those costs will be at the rate of the group rates that TRIMET receives, which are substantial benefits. But it will be for new employees hired after May 1st of 2009 that they would in fact be at the employee, or at that point retiree's expense, but at the group rate, which is again a substantial benefit, but not the benefit that we're providing to current employees or those who have retired. With that, we have to answer any other questions. This is an important step forward to be able to continue to be able to have fiscal responsibility throughout our programs.
Fred, this is setting up a two-tier type system, current employees and then new hires.
Yes.
And you said 100% of the cost. I mean, costs are running, our plans run about $1,000 a month. Is it, you saying the group cost should be about $1,000 a month to these new employees?
Well, understand, this is only at the time, assuming they go all the way through working at TRIMET and go into retirement. If they retire at age 62, the benefit is most people want insurance between 62 and 65 because until Medicare kicks in. Within that time frame, if they chose to retire at 62, they would pay the cost at the group rate. Most individuals, however, who are faced with this similar type situation, wait until Medicare B is available and make use of that.
Yeah, I understand. We do similar things, but we don't charge them 100% of the cost. I just find this pretty hard to accept that they would have to pay 100% of the cost of their health insurance. I mean, it's one of the most troubling things we all face.
I think, though, Lynn,
not just us.
Yeah,
in the union, but
it may be more standard than folks might think. I know in my own situation, I retired before the age of 65, and as a result, I pay 100% of the cost for my wife and I, and it's in the range that you're alluding to. So it was the reward for me to be able to retire before age 65 came with that price, and I retired from a very large company where every employee would be subject to the same situation.
Maybe a good example would be state of Oregon. The state of Oregon has, for all state employees, I'm going to look at Beth and Brian, 100% of the costs are paid for by the employee. Did I say that correctly? So other large public employers, likewise to what you faced today.
Well, see, I just find that that could be prohibitive to some. Some don't make the big amounts of money in the lower ranks of your company employees.
But then the choice would be they're retiring too early. That's what I'm suggesting is this only occurs if you choose to retire before you're eligible for Medicare.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I understand, but I just don't want to see people prohibited from being able to provide for some type of health care. And it's an ongoing problem for everybody in the entire country. But I'm uncomfortable with it.
Go ahead. Fred, is that the only difference in retirement benefits for employees that start after that?
Several years ago, 2 years ago, 2003, you adopted a change to the pension program. At that point, you went away from a defined benefit program and indicated that for any new employees hired after April 27th, 2003, Brian informs me, I would never remember that, that any individual would not be in the defined contribution which we would make, but also they could make to it. But it would be, their retirement would be based, or the retirement benefit would in fact be based on the performance of that account rather than as a defined benefit. But it does, in the exact same way that Board Member Flairbock raised, it is a tiering of that process, but only for new employees.
But Mr. Chair, I'm sorry. What what percentage of the workforce is non-union? I mean, how many people are we talking about?
Of our total workforce, about 84% are unionized. About 16% are not.
And then this is consistent with other transit agencies and the policies that they're adopting. Is this, pretty much the way that certainly the defined contribution versus defined benefit program is a shift that occurred in many companies, many public agencies, right?
The answer is yes. On the healthcare side, the post-employment benefits, healthcare benefits, are generally have been historically in the transit world more richer, I should say, than in the non-transit world. But even within that, ours have been at the higher end.
Fred, two things. One, going from a defined benefit to defined contribution in pension is totally different than doing something like this in healthcare. That's number one. But number two, if I'm a union member and I'm looking to move up in this organization, you're putting a stopgap. You're saying, hey, if you move up and you spend the rest of your years and retire as a manager, you're going to have to, and you do it before age 65, when your other benefits, government benefits set in, you're going to have to pay your medical, where maybe in the union you don't have to. And so you're taking some good employees that would probably service this organization and making them have to make a decision to stay where they are versus help us out over the long haul.
Actually, because of another special provision that is not a roadblock, because anybody who is a member of the union has the ability to, at retirement, to be able to bump back in the union and retire as a union employee. Now, what they do is they blend the two benefits and such. So the issue in this case would not arise. But everybody makes that kind of judgment because of what the different plans are, everything from pension to health care and other items as well.
Well, yes, let me add first, and then give you the shot here. I clearly respect the points of views being expressed here. However, there is a responsibility that we also have to see that we're providing the direction and leadership to the agency for fiscal accountability and responsibility. And we've got employees in state who are exposed to this same situation. I've already used my own example coming out of the corporate world. That the issue in this country, from my point of view, if I can step up to that level, is that people here choose to retire early. Some might argue too early. And that's what we're talking about here. Those who, for whatever circumstances, choose to not continue to work until age 65. So I feel that a decision's being made on their part, and as one board member responsible to see that we're taking the actions that in the future will cause the most appropriate level of fiscal responsibility. That's what I feel this issue is all about, not about equity and fairness. Lynn?
Yeah. Well, I certainly respect your opinions on it, George. I'm still uncomfortable with this. It's easy to give away the unborn, the people that aren't here. I mean, we voted on these things in our union sometimes. And I'm not here to stick up for people that aren't here, but I am, I guess. That's what I'm saying.